ti elevate. Ori mi kò lè hibernate. Àwọn bá.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Two Brothers channel. I'm one brother.
And I'm the second brother. And as for a new generation of tweets, we have with us, as always,
Rika. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Hey, I got it. Welcome to another exciting episode. This one, we're going to enjoy this one. I can't wait for this one. Rika, I know you will enjoy it. I can enjoy it. Mr. Phil will enjoy it. It's a good topic. So let's go right in. Mr. Phil, back to you.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Kele. Listen, it's a big, we're doing the winter one here. You know, I'm kind of like chilling here with my winter gear. It's a bit cold here, but I can suspect that as time goes on, I'll get warm, you know, so that might go off. But for now, you know, we've put on the heater. The show must go on. Now, this topic, we're going to call this one, Age Isn't Wisdom.
Ooh.
Age is not wisdom.
Ooh.
Some people will hear that and I'm like, what the you mean? Age is not wisdom. And if I'm honest, Mr. Clay actually said earlier on that, am I attacking the Africans? Let's be serious, you know. The wonderful
The battle lines are drawn.
Okay, no battle here. Let's deal with it. Right. Okay, look. The great book says wisdom is the principal thing. It did not say age is the principal thing. And somehow I know about Nigeria in the sense that I grew up in Nigeria. Somehow age kind of like replaces wisdom for a lot of things. It's like, great, we're taught, respect your elders. Don't change that. However, this thing that because this person is older, they know better, or because this person is older, they have more skill, or because this person is older, they have developed themselves, is something we need to throw out of our culture or of our dealings. Because this is the thing. You see, when I got to the UK, I realized that the people, and maybe Mr. Clare will attest to this as well, and a lot of people have, look, my mother, when she got here, her boss was about my age. Her boss was about my age. Now, again, you look, when I got here, a lot of my bosses were my younger brothers, and because over here, it's not about age, it's about skill, it's about competence. Then you go back in Africa, and then you go say, oh, who's the oldest here? Okay, you. Like being old translates to being skillful. Like being old translates to being responsible. Like being old translates automatically. That's probably what I should say. It does not translate automatically. So that is one of the things that I want us to look at, because this is a personal development channel. If we're going to personal develop, we've got to be able to personal develop on all the levels in this world. Okay, so how do other cultures deal with this thing? What we do, we take the best from what we've learned. Okay, and what I've learned in my journey is that because someone is young doesn't mean that they're not competent. And because someone is old doesn't mean they're competent. Everybody have to, as a matter of fact, competency is not a matter of age. Competency is totally a matter of application. Let me repeat that. Competency is not a matter of age. It's completely about application. Mr. Clay, what do you think?
Wow. You've started an interesting one here, because I think African culture definitely defaults to this. Respect your elders. Whatever your elders say goes. And, and it works even with the adults, like, who's the oldest, you know, and where it's broken, if somebody steps out of line, where, you refuse to listen or respect, as they say it, respect your elder or pay them the all due respect, as they say, then there's a problem. And the society frowns on that. That the person doesn't have any culture. Even I saw somewhere recently that Anthony Joshua, the boxer, the British boxer, that has I think his mom is Nigerian, or is it his dad? Well, one of the I think his parents, is it one of them or both of them? Anyway, he has Nigerian heritage, and he went to see the president of Nigeria, and he prostrated, and people were making a big deal out of it that, he's been raised right, and he's he's got the right culture, he's our boy. Now it will be interesting because if you saw the prime minister, he wouldn't do that, you know and he will probably just shake his hand and call him by his first name. He won't call him Saab, your excellency, your most admired, excellency. He won't come up with all these titles. He will just say, hi, Mr. Prime Minister, or hello,
Okay.
Mr. President.
Okay, Mr. Clare. Sorry, I'm gonna quickly jump in there before I give it to Rieke. Right. I'm glad that you actually went that way. I'm glad you went that way. And that is all well and good. I am not against that. Neither am I talking against that. By all means, our culture is our culture. Prostrate for your elders. Be respectful of your elders. Be be mindful of how you address your elders. That is standard. What I am talking about is competence now. When it comes to now competence and leadership, that cannot just be by default of the fact that I have slept more and woken up more on this earth. So that leadership now automatically just defaults to me and defers to me. Because what now the issue now is that how many times, and I'm sure, I don't know whether you've been in this situation before, how many times I've been in this situation where we have, because this person is the oldest one here, we have allowed that person to take leadership, take control of whatever the situation is, and they mess it up. When there are younger, competent people around, but because of this culture, we're kind of like, and again, okay, I hope that makes sense, Mr. Clay.
I was mid-sentences. I was building up a case there.
Oh, sorry.
It does make sense.
Sorry.
And but what I will ask you before I carry on is, when was the last time you went through that happened, where you were in a scenario where somebody obviously more competent was not chosen because of their age?
Personally, because I've been in the UK for a long time, not recently.
There you go.
But wait, that's the UK though. That's
I know.
If I go back to Nigeria, and that's why I'm saying that's why because a lot of these things that our channel is really designed to address what is going on the ground out there. Because number one, our channel is not just for Nigerian, but if we're going to test our personal development offering, what better terrain than a terrain that is that hard? Am I making sense, Mr. Clay?
Oh yes, most definitely. That's why I was going to say that, because the experiences that you're talking about there is quite real. Where you say they would look at, say, okay, who's the oldest? You get a job or you get a task, regardless of skill level. And that's been a long time since you went through that experience.
Yeah, because I'm here. Because I'm here.
And I remember, being me anyway. I never got pushed to the forefront because, I was never the oldest in most situations when growing up. So I can definitely recognize that. But when you look back at the society, this is a real thing because even as people become adults, you find like they have like a leader of the family that they take all the family problems to, and it's normally somebody that is considered as an elder. And these elders are not necessarily wise.
Hey, now we're dealing with the elephant in the room.
That is a real elephant in the room, because if they were wise, they will be able to look at their culture and really, kick the tires of their culture to say, okay, this young girl is pregnant. Culture dictates we do this, but is this the best thing for the child and the mother, or is this best thing for the family in their situation? Let me take it. Let me take this away. Let me come back to you. Let me go and think about this. But they wouldn't. They would just blindly say, black and white culture say we do this. This is what we must do. If you don't bring the child and leave the child out at the bus stop in the middle of the night, then you're rejected as one of our family members. And you'll be like, whoa, 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 whoa. How does that make sense anyway? And everybody say, the elder has spoken, the will of the elder is done. So I think that is where, which is the extreme you're talking about, Mr. Phil. Back to you.
Thank you. And the reality, and I know I am touching a very touchy subject, but that's why we're here with this channel, to touch these elephants in the room. Like Mr. Kile said, the elders, some elders, by all means, they're competent. And some elders, like Mr. Kile said, when we used one word there, the elder may not be the wise, or may not be wise. And they are just going by rote. They've not paused to ask the most important question: why? And because they've not asked themselves that question, they've not equipped themselves to actually deal with that situation. Okay, I'm gonna be 50 in a few months' time now. I lead a network where I am not the oldest. Okay, people that are much older than me, I mentor people that are more older than me, and I mentor people that are younger than me. And people that are younger than me, I learn from them. Some of them they mentor me. Okay, now I believe that is the healthy way to go, because here's the deal. Even my son Kurede, I was thinking about him. We started playing the guitar around about the same time. But guess what? The guy is gifted. The guy is good. He's competent, way more competent than me on the guitar. How stupid will I be now? We want to go and play somewhere, and I say, I'm the oldest, I have to play the guitar. Mr. Claire, or is that not a good example?
that one is an extreme example, but we pray that you give it to Korede, definitely.
You pray that I give it to Korede. But sometimes, no, it's not even an extreme example. We've had situations like that where, like, I'll bring Rika in a second, where I defer to the competence of people that are younger than me. And that is why you see, when you come to the UK, like I said, my mom's supervisor was my age. When my mom was in her 50s, her supervisor was in her 20s. How did that happen? Because they go by competence. They don't go by age. Rika.
Well, I agree in terms of age isn't wisdom, because wisdom can be imparted on you at any stage of your life. I guess, from young to old, age is just a number, like they say. But then again, this is a different context. In terms of competency, I do agree. Like sometimes younger people may be more competent in a given task because they've probably just learned that task. You know, it's still fresh in their memory. You know, they're coming up with different ideas, so they're able to adapt and be more flexible rather than say somebody who's got a couple more years on them and they are trying to do the same task, but because it might have been a long time since they've done it, they might have some difficulties and yeah, things like that. So I do agree in terms of competency is what's first and foremost in terms of if you're needing any help in a given task or something, but age isn't the matter.
Okay. Okay, I hear you. And saying that again, we're talking about competency now. And when you sorry, I was just gonna my train of thought there is that please, the point that I'm making here is that let's not just default to age. Let's look at who has the best ability. Yes, we can start with age at all times. Do you get what I'm saying? But let the person that is the oldest have the ability to look around and be able to understand the competencies of those people around him and be comfortable to say, you know what, you're better to lead in that aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
You're better to lead in that aspect. I don't see that happening in Nigeria. I just see people just say, you know what, even if the person is not a good speaker, is not a good skinny, you are the oldest. Oh yeah. Then you now see people start saying, yeah.
I guess
sorry, Rika.
I just wanted to say, I guess that's where true leadership is, being able to see and delegate different tasks to people who you deem and who are also witness that they are more competent in a specific thing, rather than just going for, okay, you're the oldest and so you do this, you handle it.
Yeah, I mean, our parents, the way they were brought up, they were brought up to be, just to not challenge anything, just do as you are told. You popping out first, you'll be like, you will be the doctor of the family. Off you go. but off you go. You're the second born. You will be the engineer of the family. Off you go. Like, but I want to be there. Number 3, you will be our lawyer. Off you go. And which is totally, and that's how I thought life was. You're told what to do, what to be, until I got to London and I was given freedom to think. They asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? When I was like, what do I want to be when I grow up? Yes.
You tell me.
Are you asking really?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, what do you want to do? I was like, okay, I want to be a fighter pilot. I'm watching. Is anyone gonna come crashing? But my parents would not have imagined me being a fighter pilot or even wanting to be part of the RAF. But they asked me, what do you want to be? What's your interest? What's your passion? Now, a lot of the time when we were growing up, we used to play football. We used to love playing football. We had passion for football. Every day we were playing football. Our parents would not have caught us, with a ball and be happy. It was all go and read. Now, the footballers are making what these so-called professional, which is something that needs to be readdressed with this COVID. But anyway, that's a different video altogether. Yeah, but footballers are making in a week what people are making in a year. Now parents are beating their kids to play football. African parents are now saying, you better get out. Are you not playing football? Have you trained today? You haven't trained? Are you crazy? If I catch you, you know, which is a total reverse to the way they were brought up. So, Mr. Pugh, back to you.
And what happens is that when you don't, when you mistake just age for wisdom, then you are always chasing the trends, like you're saying, Mr. Kale. There was one time now where people that were book smart were making the money. They did not see the time when it was gonna be footballers that are gonna be making the money, you know. And another thing that is actually happening now in the world now is that those people that are like book smart, maybe going into all the, oh, you don't talk about medicine, don't talk about engineering, great. But dare I say, the way the trend is going now, the highest earners may well be those people that are gonna be in trades. That may be coming, but people are blindsided because people are not actually looking at the trends. They're just going by rote, you know. And so, you know, this thing about, so the point, if there's any point I'm trying to make, I'm not trying to say that people should not respect people. I'm not trying to say people should not respect age. I'm just saying that competent element has to be put into consideration when leading, when delegating, when, again, because if you don't do that, then you're going to always be putting the wrong people in the wrong place and expecting results that is never gonna be able to come from them. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Does that make sense, Mr. Clay?
Well, yeah. You know, because what you're, but then I will ask you another question actually.
Please.
In terms of, you know, this competence, how does one draw that into their daily living? Because most people are unemployed in Nigeria or Africa, so they're probably sitting at home taking orders from their parents still, even in their 30s, you know, going to their 40s. And if they're married, they're always reporting back to a family elder that makes the final decisions. So in terms of, I mean, how does one challenge those kind of dynamics? Because I can just imagine, let's say I was living back in Nigeria now, I'll be the biggest rebel in the family. They would just be like, you know, he's lost to us. You know, the white people have taken him away. He has, they've turned him into a disrespectful hooligan. You know, he looked me in the eye and spoke back to me. Can you imagine? He looked me in the eye and spoke back to me. So I don't know how that would be. There'll be a lot of people I'll be avoiding. Let's just say that. Back to you, Mr.
You see, again, let us look at the results we're getting and use that to judge whether something is working or not. Right? We cannot continue to do things business as usual, and again, forgetting that we're not in this world alone, forgetting that there are other people groups that are progressing without this debilitating baggage. Now, the first thing I would say, Mr. Kanleye, about those people that you said that are home, that are doing, you see, that is a reflection of them not taking responsibility for their own competence, even though they will say, oh, there's nothing to do here. Have you cleaned your compound? While you're cleaning your compound, that might be a business idea. I happen, Mr. Kanleye, you know me. You know that I've been in the UK, and in the UK, like you told the story of me going to offices and just telling them, look, don't employ me, I'll bring business to you.
Yeah.
You told stories about that, yeah, because it happened. So I have been in a situation where I've had to look around me, nothing happening, and make something happen. So I'm going to be one of those youths in Nigeria. Well, okay, I would be truthful. Maybe if I didn't come here, I would not have been uncomfortable enough, because I became uncomfortable enough in the UK. I had to do something. So could it be that even in that situation in Africa, they're so comfortable that they can just go day after day after day after day and not do anything? So here's my deal. If we look at what they're good at in Nigeria and in Africa, we look at music now. Those guys that have broken through music, notice what they did though. Notice that they did not have to ask any elders permission to go into the studio. They probably had to beg, steal, or borrow to get studio time. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So for that guy that is in Nigeria that is doing anything, I will tell you, that guy, that girl, the responsibility for you to do something is in your hand. Now, when you now start doing something, naturally, no elder will now tell you to stop. You know why? Because you are far more competent than them already. In whatever. They will have absolutely no say. If you're making soap or you're doing, you understand what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you're doing and you're competent in it, what say do they have in it? Unless they're now gonna show you, oh, you're not doing it right. Let me show you a better way to do it. And that is what they should be there for anyway. So if the elder wants to come and correct you so that they can put you on a better platform, that's what they should be doing anyway. And that's how it should be. But what I'm talking about and what I'm saying is, when you are now competent and the elder says, you sit down, I will do what I'm not competent in because I'm just old. That is all I'm talking about. Am I making sense, Wike?
Yeah, of course. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Clay.
Because, you know, in those scenarios where the youth have been accused of being lazy because they're not doing those, they're not coming up with these ideas. Like you say, those people that follow their passion into music, they fought tooth and nail so that they can produce their music without permission from anybody, and they lived in the studio practically till they came out with their music. And there's millions of people like that. Although we know the famous ones, but there's people that didn't make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so we shouldn't forget those. So
yeah, they didn't make it.
But in the journey, as always, while you're in the journey, you always find your way. You always find your way. You always find your level, and you always find. So some of them might not be even be, singers. They might be producers. They might be sound people. They might be managers. They might be organizers. They might be event organizers. They might find other things that they can get into, even though they started. I know of an event organizer. That's all he was doing while he was in university. And then because he was putting so many shows together, he became a singer himself.
Okay.
And so these things happen.
Okay.
But like you said, it's all about going out there, sweeping your surrounding, sweeping your house, and then you find out that I'm sweeping my compound, but everybody has a compound that needs to be swept. Hello, why don't I go asking them, do you want me to sweep your compound? I'll do it for a fee, or even just I'll just be doing it, and then they will see, this guy did a good job. I didn't ask for money. Let's give him something now, So it's just things like that you even amaze you. Before you know it, you have a cleaning business that you're operating. So this is how people start.
Definitely. Look, if you're a youth in Nigeria and we use Nigeria because we know Nigeria very well. And Nigeria is a very good case study of a very hard terrain. very hard terrain. Okay, nobody's gonna solve it for you. The cavalry is not coming. You are the cavalry. You are your solution. Okay, so you need to make it happen for you. We spoke about music, but there are other things. Is it manufacturing this? Is it solving this? Is it repairing this? Just do something. Okay, and once you once you do it, the solutions will start coming. Oh, Mr. Phil, I will not do anything. Okay, where you are now, how is it working for you? So why not try something else? Why not try you taking full responsibility for where you are? Okay, quick story about this thing about deferring to older. There was a time when I was in the church. Some people were like, "You're no longer in the church." Another video. But anyway, the pastor was very gifted in music, so he was playing the keyboard and everything. And the pastor's sons, they had, they were going to music as well. They were playing. But there was one son that stood out. People that know the story know what I'm talking about. And that son, when he started playing, he was around maybe 17, 18, as in maybe 15, 16, 17, 18. He took over the music of this church. I was one of the people I was under his, leadership in the music team. Man, I was in my late 30s, 40s. Am I going to say I'm not going to follow? Man, I submitted, man, because the guy was so good. Like Yoruba would say, Arojuni. And we created the most beautiful music then. Okay? How stupid will it be? Because his dad was there. You know what his dad just did? His dad just went, right, there you go. Now, when his dad was playing before, everybody thought his dad was gonna be the best musician. Yeah? And nobody challenged that. But when this boy came up, he wasn't even 16 yet. Man, when the guy played like this, everybody looked at his dad and said, you know what? Retire. Because this boy, now that boy is now a man now and is playing internationally. Rike, remember you were there?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so.
But the thing is, see, he stood up to the role. He took responsibility into his own hands, and he showed his competency. So it's not just that, whoever's most competent, regardless of the age, should be the one to do the job. It's if you're competent and you're able to take the full responsibility of executing whatever your responsibility is, then you have to step up to the plate and, take charge and own your craft. And he did. We used to create such beautiful music, and he was able to control the team and lead the team and delegate lots of different tasks to everybody. And with that, we were a great team. We were a great music team. So yeah,
Sorry.
No, I'm done.
Okay, sorry. I was in my late 30s then, I believe, late 30s. And there were people that were way older than him. But he was the leader. Unquestionable. Not because of his age, but because of his competency. And like Rike said, and maybe this is where this is where when we make these videos, sometimes even I don't know where it's going to go. But I think I've got it now, what I'm really trying to say. And it came from what Rike last said, that there is a balance. And that balance is what needs to be struck between competency, age, and people stepping up to take responsibility. So those are the three things now that needs to be balanced: competency, age, and responsibility. Because Rike just said it there. That boy was competent, but if he did not take responsibility, it wouldn't have worked.
Exactly, because he had an older brother who was also very gifted as well. In fact, all of them were gifted, but he was the only one who said, okay, I'm going to take charge of this. So, you know.
And I tell you what, he took charge to such a level, honestly, that when people came to hear the sound that was in that church, boy, now, like I said, he's doing it professionally now. You know, but the key though was that it was, I think, like, I'm correct to say it was around maybe 14 when he started.
Yeah, because I was even younger. I was like 11 or something. So,
yeah.
You know.
And that was the leadership of the music team in the church. And it worked beautifully to the point that when it got to a point, even, I learned then, okay, that competence is important. So I think, like I said, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Claire to talk us about what I think that's where I'm going to land here now. That's what I'm talking about now, really, is age, competency, and responsibility. Those three, there's got to be a balance. We cannot just default to just age anymore. Mr. Claire.
Yeah. I love that you've added, and I'm going to add one more thing to it. I'm going to make it a four-wheel scenario. Age, competence, taking responsibility, and everybody providing the enabling environment.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a big component, actually.
Enabling environment.
Because everybody's frowning at the young boy. Oh, he's playing the guitar. Is it because it's
No, first and foremost, his dad was part of the enabling environment, because one of the good things about his dad is that his dad was very good at, not only in the music side, he was very good at allowing people to do and express themselves in any way. I don't want to just call it delegation. He's one of those people that is very good at encouraging people to just express themselves in whatever way. If you're gonna be cleaning, if you're gonna be, you understand, it's very good. But I was part of that enabling environment, because I didn't say, I'm used to following your dad. Who are you? You understand what I'm saying? Okay. I didn't say that. I looked at the guy and I saw this guy is good. You know? And to be honest, from that small age as well, maybe that's where Enrique's contribution comes in as well. From that small age as well, the guy was not childish.
No.
He wasn't childish, amazingly. He was very, very meticulous. He was very, very about the business of delivering, even from that small age. And I can remember he would teach us about, I was under his tutorage when it came to music. Mm-hmm. Look, when it came to music, I was under his tutorage. And guess who benefited? I benefited. My children benefited. Because those children, or that time, all of them became so gifted musically. Mm-hmm. You know, so that is where that enabling environment comes in. You know, the enabling environment when the people that are older, like I was in that scenario, do not dig your foot in and say, who are you? Egos now start rising. We've been here. We've been coming to choir practice when you were in diapers. You know? So, yes. And even this video, when I started it, I just knew that there was something to be said about this default to just age. But right now, listening to you, Mr. Clay, and listening to Rike, it has now actually added crystality to what my thoughts were. So even right now, just through this video, I've proven that it is going to be to my own detriment if I don't learn to listen to you guys and just say, oh, I'm the oldest, so I must know the layer.
Well, you know, so it's in this white culture that works quite well, because you know when you meet a white man, the first thing, you know, no matter how old he is, he will tell you to call him by his first name.
Yeah.
You will feel uncomfortable if you start calling him sir, sir. Good morning, sir. Evening, sir. Evening, sir. You know, you will be like, calm down, calm down. Call me Steve. Call me Ryan. You know, and I felt very uncomfortable when I first came from Nigeria because I'm used to calling my elder sir, sir. You know, but but when you look back, so when people call me by my first name, it's your upbringing, right? So you feel like, why is he calling me by my first name? But hey, that enabling environment.
That is why. That's what Mr. Claire just said there. You see, because someone is saying sir, sir, sir to you, doesn't mean that they respect you. Because they're saying sir, 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 doesn't mean that they are part of an environment where they're productive to you and you're productive to them. You know, so again, the reason why Mr. Claire says that when it came to London, everyone says, don't call me sir, don't call me by my name, okay, is because of that enabling environment. They know that if they don't make that environment enabling, it is going to cost even them, as it is costing people in Nigeria now. Mr. Claire, please.
Well, so that is very important, and I think it brings a lot of balance to what we're discussing. Well, we don't want this video to go too long.
Yeah. Rick,
I'm sure we'll come back to it in some shape in the future. So I'm gonna say I'm signing out. Peace and love, as Rick always says. Peace and love.
Peace and love, everybody. Like always, take care of yourselves and hope to see you soon. Well, on the next video.
Okay. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those ones that I know I may be touching a nerve. It's one of those ones that I do want to touch, but it needs to be touched. And I hope we have. I'm glad that I've touched it because it has actually answered a lot of questions for even me. I hope it has for you too. On that note, see you next time. God bless.